What's up guys, Americana back here with another video. Ethereum's quarterly candle just opened with an absolute bang, and I promise you, nobody is bullish enough. We did two massively important things just before the open of this quarterly candle and within the last week, so I want to cover them both and point to why I think Ethereum is taking off next. So make sure you stick to the end, but without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so we'll start with the two things that I mentioned, and then we'll dive into, how quarterly candles typically operate within the context of where I think we're at with Ethereum right now. Major thing that we got was this initial sweep of liquidity. Obviously, you guys see that all over Instagram these days. People talk about liquidity sweeps, this, that, and the third. But sweeping that level is very important, and then a good reclaim after that. One thing, and what I think was more important to kind of give us the absolute green light. I mentioned this in my Discord, and I mentioned this maybe on Instagram as well. But there was about $1 billion in open interest that loaded up during here, thinking that this initial candle here would be, the move to kind of get us out. And looking on CoinGlass, there was about that same $1 billion in liquidations just below this level at, I believe the official number was 2372. As you can see here, we perfectly tapped that zone, right? Perfectly sweep that liquidity. And now, obviously, moving on higher. If we take a look at the weekly candle chart here, okay, just had its highest close within this current range that we're working with. And all of that context is important. Keep in mind this weekly candle here was the beginning of our quarter. So this wick down was kind of our first downward movement in the quarter. And that is going to be important when I show you this next chart here. But let's look at, the area in which this bottom wick was formed. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. We'll drop into the weekly candle. So this quarterly candle opened on October 1st, obviously. And we get this initial move down followed by, 2.5, 3 months of upward price action, right? So why is that important? Is we just got something very similar here. This is not even in like a full-on bull market, right? We're still working within this range. So let's take a look at what it looks like within a bull market itself. So again, we'll go through the same exercise here. We'll drop a little. I'm not here to debate on where I think we are, within Ethereum's move, but we'll just pick a couple of these quarterly candles here, highlight these bottom wicks. And then obviously we're not at all-times high, at or above all-time high yet, so I'm not going to pick that one. And again, we'll drop into the lower time frames and let's see how it reacted in these areas. So you can see we get this, manipulation down. Again, this was the exact same. We just closed June 29th candle. This little wick here is the quarterly wick close, right? Very, very similar structure to what we saw just now, right? This quarterly wick close here, or a quarterly wick open, before moving much higher, much faster. Same thing here, October 1, this first week, right? That first week of the quarterly candle open, if it's going to be a bullish candle, typically marks the bottom for the entire quarter. We just had that quarterly week close, or first week of the quarter close this week, and not only did we have that close, but we also closed above, like I mentioned, this weekly range in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. That's the bottom wick for the entire quarter. I'll put my name on it, and I think Ethereum is absolutely up next for a massive run. And of course, as I mentioned in other videos, altcoins will absolutely follow. So I know I kept this video rather short, but the whole point of it was to, I have the understanding of how these candles operate, how candles are formed. It's more of a trader's mentality, but you can use it on these macro candles that we have here. You usually typically get that manipulation somewhere early, and then, the candle will do, whether it's going to go up or down, have its entire move after that. That's what it does, is either sweeps liquidity, traps liquidity, things like that. But with my understanding, I just wanted to pass it on, and what I'm seeing, I think the quarterly bottom is in with this weekly candle close. I'm literally recording this video an hour after this weekly candle close, so I was waiting for it, and I'm putting my name on it, so let's see what happens. That's it for this one, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe. I had one of my recent videos pick up a little bit more traction in the long form sense, so I appreciate you guys. If you're a new subscriber or just checking my stuff out for the first time, make sure you check out my other videos. I try to make my long form content relatively short and easy to digest. I know you guys have a lot of information kind of being shoved down your throat at different times, but if this stuff was interesting to you, make sure you check out some of my other videos. Make sure you subscribe, and I also have some free PDFs for you to download in my bio. There's a little section called free PDFs. Go ahead, you just put your email in, sends it over to you. So I'd appreciate if you guys use those because they're there to help you. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one, and Americana is out.